Good morning, folks, and welcome to the Morning Glory podcast, where I just chat about things that's on my mind that I know affects other men just like you. So today I want to talk about the overwhelm of change. Now, this thought came about because I was talking to one of the clients, Clint, who is doing phenomenal. He's lost 2.5 stone over this lockdown, and he's been turning up to the morning sessions, the Zoom sessions every single morning without fail, always turned up. In fact, last week I had to tell him to stop coming because he was becoming overwhelmed with the work he was doing, and you could see his performance was being affected. Now, listen, the guy's in his 50s, he's the strongest man I know, but like every guy who's getting older, there comes a point you need to actually recognize where when's to stop, and when to go. But I'm getting off the topic. Basically, the thing with Glenn is he's an integral part of primal strength and movement, right? He's the 7 a.m. group wouldn't be the same without him. Now, before lockdown, a year ago exactly, Glenn was flying, and he'd be a very shy guy. So he's a lovely fella, but very reserved, and he wouldn't be the type of guy to walk in the room and talk to everyone. But he's friendly. And when the change happened, when lockdown happened, and we stopped coming to the gym, he stopped training. Literally just stopped completely training, and he put all the weight back on. And then when the gym opened again, I got onto him, got him back into the gym. We got him flying again. And this time I spoke to him and I held him. I was like, listen, right, Glenn, you can't quit on this because of what's happening here. We're in a position where you've got to accept where we're at, and you've got to adapt to the situation. And for a play him, he did. Like I said, he's lost 2.5 stone. But his story is common with nearly every guy I meet. Now, when I say every guy, I'm talking about the guys I train, for the most part, are normal dudes. They've been training for in their 20s. They've stopped training mid-30s. They're now 40s, mid-40s, and they've got 2 or 3 stone on them that don't want to be on. But they just feel trapped. They don't know how to get out of this position. And when you come to training, when you haven't trained in a while, and then you actually recognize that you're at that point where you need to change, what starts happening is your mind starts playing tricks on you, and you start thinking about training in a wrong way. When you're training, you know you're going to start training, or you're going to start eating properly, you're going to change your lifestyle, shall we say, because the current lifestyle you're at is not benefiting you. It's not helping you live the life you want. You're not happy how you look, you're not happy how you feel, you're not happy how you move, you're always in pain emotionally, pain physically. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't feel like the man you used to be, and that brings you down, and that makes you feel miserable. And for some reason, when we start training, guys focus on the negative aspects of training. Do you know, when you before you start training, you're considering training, you're starting to think about, I'm going to lose the weight, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, and it's feeling good, and you join the gym. But as soon as you start the gym, you're starting to think about the chore of training. You know, I have to get up at this time instead of lying in bed. I've got to cut out the beers of the weekend. I've cut out the Chinese. I can't have that biscuit and all those biscuits at tea time or 10 o'clock tea. And all these negative connotations that are attached to training and eating come to the forefront. And that's all you seem to focus on. And remember, where your focus goes, energy flows. And that is true, because when you focus on when you focus on the problems and the reasons why you don't want to train, that is all that's going to be on your mind. And again, you've just suddenly forgotten about all the important aspects of why you're training. It's going to benefit your health. You're going to feel better, look better, move better. You're going to probably be around longer. You're going to have a better quality of life. You're going to be influencing your kids. You're going to maybe surprise yourself, and that is maybe the catalyst you needed to push on and become even more of a man you believe you could become. But sadly, we don't. We focus on why I don't want to do it, why it's going to be hard, why you're not going to be good enough, why everyone else is going to be better than you. And when you're thinking like that, how do you expect to be able to get yourself out of bed in the mornings or get yourself to the gym after work? Where are you going to find the self-resolve and the strength to say no to the food you know you want, but you know isn't benefiting you in any way? The food that got you to the position you're in today in the first place. Because everything we do is habit. It's always habit. If you're thinking that you want, If you're thinking about the things you're giving up, then all you're focusing on is what you're giving up, and then you're going to go back to the old habits very easily because you're going to find a justification for going back to that point. And ultimately, you're going to end up in a position either where you're similar today or even worse. Change is not overwhelming if you don't allow it to be. If you put your focus on why you're doing it, the reasons behind doing it, and the benefits for doing it, you're going to start realizing there's a lot more good to come from what you're sacrificing. And really, what you're sacrificing, is it really much of a sacrifice, or is it just habit-based change? Like, do you really need a Chinese and like 6 beers Thursday, Friday, Saturday night? Would it really kill you that much if you cut the beers down to one night a week and the Chinese to one night a week? Would it really kill you to change your mid-morning snack from biscuits and tea with 6 sugars in it to something more congruent with the goal you're trying to achieve? Is it really that big a deal to eat some healthy food? Like, fruit does not taste that bad. The problem is we've been so conditioned to live on the shitty, processed, sugary, high carb, trans fatty foods that taste amazing. They've been designed to taste that good, and then become addicted to these, that we actually forget that normal food can taste great, and that it's going to make you feel a lot better. And ultimately, the hormonal response from eating the good foods compared to the shitty foods is going to be staggering. And if you were to even consider giving up the crappy foods, the processed foods, and changing it for the whole nutritional foods that we know we should eat, that hormonal response is going to start changing your mindset, and it's going to start changing your mood. You're going to be lifted. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel more driven, and that is going to progress you on forward, and you're going to end up pushing on. And the minute you start doing this, and you start taking those changes, you take a step towards becoming that guy you want to become, that's already tangible evidence that you can do it. Now, is it going to be easy? No. But why should it be? Like, easy gets you to where you are today. If you want an easy life, you've got to accept that easy life is going to be convenience foods. It's going to be not moving that much. It's going to be putting on weight. It's going to be sore joints. It's going to be emotionally not feeling great about yourself because you don't like how you look and don't like how you feel. Why would you choose that type of life? Why would you want to live that type of life? Why would you actively go out of your way to have that sort of life thrust upon you? Because that is what you're doing. When you choose to eat that food that you know you shouldn't, when you choose to sit on the couch instead of going for a walk or going to the gym or doing a few push-ups, you're making an active decision to not change. You're saying to yourself, no, I want to be here. This is where I feel happiest. And we know that's not true. You may be able to project an outward image of you're happy, but I have yet to talk, and I mean genuinely, I've yet to talk to one guy in my life who's overweight, who's not feeling good about themselves, who actually says, you know something, I like my body. There's always room for improvement. We're always trying to, well, most of us are always trying to reach for something better. But to think on this and to, be aware of what you're doing, the decisions you're making, and then to actively choose to stay there, that's insanity. Over fear. It's fear of change, because it's like a kid going from primary school to secondary school. The overwhelming fear of, like, am I going to get my head flushed down the toilet? Am I going to meet friends? What a teacher will be like? All these thoughts project the child. It becomes fearful for the kid. And for the first few weeks of a child's journey from primary to secondary school, it's an intimidating place. But eventually, you fall into the routine, you get used to it, you realize that the thoughts you were having weren't as bad as you realized, and then you're able to push on and get your GCSEs and all that shit. Well, it's the exact same for you. There's no change. Yes, deciding to suddenly go from no exercise to some exercise, from the processed pizza crap to whole nourishing food, it can be overwhelming. I know it sounds pathetic to say that, but it actually can be overwhelming. But you see it through, it soon becomes habit. You soon forget about the old life you lived, and you start embracing the new. And when you embrace the new, change happens. So, folks, it's very simple. Focus when you find yourself focusing on the fears of change. When you recognize that thought pattern, change it. Start putting your thoughts towards the reasons why you're doing it and the benefits of doing it, and you will soon find it slowly over time. Those thoughts become your natural go-to thoughts. And when that happens, the fear of training, the fear of change no longer has that hold on you. See you tomorrow.